Welcome to Cedar Club, Quincy's favorite local bar. A friendly corner bar with a laid-back atmosphere and affordable drinks. It's the perfect spot for a great time. With entertainment galore, including shuffleboard, golden tee, pool, foosball, and winning gaming machines. Cedar Club's latest edition is the best spot to catch your favorite game. Great drinks, great friends, and great times. Cedar Club, 20th and Cedar in Quincy. Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad. Joining me today, Dr. Bradley Holland, board certified urologist with Blessing Health System. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Big fan.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you. We don't always have big fans, but they're our favorites when they come on, so thank you. Yeah. So board certified urologist with Blessing Health, here to talk about something that is very, very common, but perhaps not talked about enough, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And my special interest or something that I generally kind of navigate towards treating is erectile health and men's health.
Okay. So when we're talking about erectile health and men's health, of course there is a stigma. There's often shame surrounding it. And I don't know if it's attributed to because men are, sometimes they're just more stubborn and getting treated, or because maybe they think it's not, it makes them not quite as manly. But when you're having erectile issues, my hunch is, and I'm not an expert, my hunch is a lot of men don't seek help.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think in generally kind of middle-aged men, and even as they get a little older, don't really go to the doctor for anything.
Right.
And for erectile health, the stigma behind it or the concern or some amount of shame, I think it scares them, and it's hard for them to get into the office.
Right, right.
And a lot of times we'll see couples come in where the wife kind of
dragging him there by his
gets
collar,
him in there because she knows it's important to him. He knows it's important. He just doesn't know where to start.
Right, and also, aside from the effect of erectile dysfunction, it's often a symptom of things which signify something a lot more detrimental, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So erectile health requires intact vascular. The blood vessels go into it, and the nerves.
Okay.
So the blood vessels, very similar to cardiovascular disease and heart disease. And actually, there's a lot of good studies that, especially young men who develop erectile dysfunction, not just the one-off difficulty getting an erection, but persistent erectile dysfunction can actually precede heart disease by about 5 years.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of guys who, when they come into the office seeking treatment for ED, the first thing we do is get them set up with a primary care physician.
Right.
And there's guys I've sent directly over to the cardiology office
really?
Coming in for ED.
Yeah. And then, aside from vascular, which of course is scary enough, right? There are a host of other causes of ED, right?
Yeah.
And they're all over the board.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of things that we can modify and help with.
Okay.
Everything from high blood pressure to blood sugar issues and diabetes, high cholesterol, and then some other ones such as depression and anxiety.
Right.
Smoking is a big one.
Right.
A lot of guys, there's been some good studies on quitting smoking can actually have improvement in the erectile dysfunction without any meds.
Really?
Or without any treatment.
Yeah. So, and then side effects from medication as well. So psychological, vascular, lifestyle issues. So the causes can be, across the board. It's not because, it's not just because you're getting older, although sometimes that is, a big indicator.
Absolutely.
And then also, so I think about men that I know, and as we get older, we don't really think we're old.
Yes.
Right? So then we're thinking, I definitely don't want to talk about it because maybe it's not because of this reason or another. But just a host of reasons that this can arise and that ED becomes a part of your life, which it causes issues, right?
Yeah,
in relationships
absolutely.
and your mental well-being. I mean, and then it can sometimes be easy to treat.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. There's a lot of different treatment options.
Okay.
And that's one of the big things in really it's called the AUA, but our kind of governing board is big on finding what of those treatment options is best for you.
Right.
And we have everything from non-invasive medications that a lot of guys have tried, but those don't work in everybody.
Sure.
Or because of other medications, they can't take them. So we have a lot of options beyond that. It's really finding what's best for guys.
Right. And what's causing it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's really interesting, and I love that you're here to talk to me about it because I do think that, again, the stigma, the shame, and I think it's going to happen to most men at some point in their life, right? So we better start talking about it because if it's easy enough to fix without causing you so much, anguish, right? So much angst. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And one of the ways that you're helping with this, which I think is really, really cool, you, of course, in Blessing Health System, you're doing a webinar, a live webinar.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
That's specifically on some of the more advanced treatment options.
Okay.
So for those guys that pills aren't an option or they don't work for them, we have options beyond for those guys.
Right.
And there's a lot of those guys that are kind of in limbo that think there aren't options.
Right.
And they're just kind of stuck out there. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to turn to. And they're, for a long time, those options weren't offered around here.
Right.
Some of the earlier ones, there's injections and suppositories and things like that can help. But specifically the implant and the surgery for it is one that before you had to travel to St. Louis or Iowa City to have the surgery done.
Really?
But
so that's like a
we do 'em here.
prosthetic? Or, okay.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
So it's completely internal.
Okay.
It has a cylinder on each side of the penis, a pump in the scrotum, and then a reservoir that contains saline that's kind of hidden in front of the bladder.
Interesting.
And it's outpatient surgery to do it. Takes about an hour.
Really?
Yeah, and the results are amazing. I mean, the long-term satisfaction rate with the surgery is well over 90%. Some of the studies as high as 95%. Satisfaction rate from the partner is even higher than that, 96 to 98%. So
incredible.
There are, with any kind of surgery, I mean, there's some risks with it.
Sure.
There's some things to know. There's some growing pains getting used to it, but it really is the gold standard of treatment.
Yeah.
And before the pills, it was done much more commonly.
Right.
And now the technology has only gotten better since then.
Sure.
So it's come a long way.
That's incredible. I mean, when you're thinking about it, and of course, if you're a man and we're talking about surgery on your nether regions, right? You're probably like, oh my gosh, no. But then you just weigh the pros and cons, right? And what better way to learn about your options and the pros and cons of each than to attend a seminar? And even better, it's an anonymous seminar. So if you do have that stigma, you do have that shame, or you do, you don't want to put your business out on Front Street with everybody else, this is completely anonymous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And information isn't going to hurt anybody.
Right.
So getting them out there, having them learn more, and just seeing if it's something that fits with them. Treatment for erectile dysfunction isn't for everybody.
Right.
Some guys aren't bothered by it, but there's a lot of guys out there. There's statistics I've seen is over 30 million guys are actively seeking treatment for ED right now.
I was going to say, it was like 30 to 50 million in the U.S. alone.
Crazy numbers.
So you're not alone, right? And although you may not want to be, a part of that group, it's such as life.
Right.
Now let's figure out what we can do about it, and bringing awareness to other guys, I think, so that everybody realizes that they're not alone in this.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Taking everything out, but let's find out what's causing it. Let's find out how to fix it, and let's get your well-being and your quality of life back to what it should be.
And it's amazing the number of guys who get an implant and then all of a sudden all their friends are in the office.
Really?
Seeking them out or seeking treatment because they didn't realize.
Right.
And then I give guys the model of the pump itself to get used to it. And a lot of them will keep it on their keychain and will walk around and tell people about it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's awesome. It really has a pretty amazing community.
Yeah.
And so you can be as anonymous as you want, or you can be a patient advocate for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think patient advocate it's not something that you would really expect when you're sitting around all your guy friends. But if they pull out that keychain and show you what's what, if you're dealing with it, then you may just be like, oh, hey, that's something to call Dr. Holland about. Okay, so what can people expect during the webinar?
So we are going to go through all the different options. We're going to go through all the potential causes of erectile dysfunction, and we're going to go really in detail about the implant itself.
Okay.
And remove, I think, a lot of that stigma or the concerns that guys may have about ED, about the surgery, about the more advanced options, and see if it's right for them.
Yeah. So now you are leading this webinar. Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
And you know your stuff. So aside from ED, of course, urology covers a broad spectrum of issues and diagnoses. So what would some of those things be?
Oh, we do a lot.
Okay.
And that's one of the best things about urology is that we have so many conditions that affect quality and quantity of life.
Right.
I mean, there's everything from bladder, prostate, kidney, testicular cancer, to kidney stones, to erectile dysfunction, to overactive bladder and incontinence.
Right.
And I mean, there's a million things. Every day's different. That's what makes it so much fun.
Now, do you do vasectomies as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you really know what you're doing, what you're talking about when it comes to all this. Now, how long have you been with Blessing?
I think I just got to 4 years.
Okay.
Finished 4 years.
Incredible. Yeah. Well, you are part of a great team, and of course, I'm sure you already know that. I think Blessing is always, an innovator and offering these resources to our community and beyond. And I think it's always something new, which is necessary in the healthcare field because
Absolutely.
it's always advancing faster than I can even imagine. But it's good to know that you're willing to tackle things like this with your patients and be an advocate. I wholeheartedly recommend you to reach out, attend this seminar. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain, right? Okay, so one more time, the webinar is held when?
So Tuesday, the 17th, and it's at 6 p.m., and you can go to the Blessing website, and it'll be right on there, and search Men's Health Webinar, and it'll get you to the link for it.
Okay, and then just register and show up and learn.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Dr. Brad Holland, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. All right, coming up next, DOB and I sit down to talk about ticket scams. What's that? We'll find out.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
The Tower, a great place to meet and eat. But did you know the Tower has one of the finest drink selections in our area? Along with its incredible Mexican menu, the Tower specializes in tequilas for every taste. Names like Patron, Cabo Wabo, and Hornitos. And don't forget the margaritas. On Mondays and Tuesdays, stop by and pick up a single topping pizza and get Tower margaritas to go. Enjoy the Tower at home or in our dining room, bar area, or the Tower's signature climate-controlled porch. The Tower Pizza and Mexican in Quincy.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Welcome out to Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer and it feels so right. I'll meet you out on Broadway underneath Shamrock Light. We're gonna have a good time on the patio tonight. There's a party down at Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer on a champagne night. We're feeling all alone and you got no place to go. So come down here and drink a beer on Kelly's patio. Kelly's a fun place to eat and drink. 2902 Broadway.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
And welcome back. Joining me now, the king of avoiding scams, DOB, my friend, Don O'Brien with the BBB. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Fantastic. We're talking about something that is very relevant to my life, my girls' lives, my friends' life, everyone around me. Everyone's attending events.
Yes.
Yeah.
Event ticket sales. There's scammers out there.
Go figure.
So the best way, okay, so let's say you wanted to buy, Taylor Swift was through here a couple years ago. What's the best way to buy a Taylor Swift ticket? And I'm not saying this is happening.
Well, you sell your organs first,
Yes, well,
and then
true.
you go find, a reputable
Let's say Taylor
source.
was coming to beautiful Busch Stadium.
Uh-huh.
What would you do if you wanted to see Taylor at beautiful Busch Stadium? Which, by the way, is not happening. This is just a total fabrication.
We wish. But, so first I would probably go to her website, but I would most likely Google her name to make sure I got the right website, which is probably tough.
Yeah, you just go to Busch Stadium.
Oh, really?
You find the best way, whether it's the Cardinals, Taylor Swift, whoever, monster truck races, whatever it might be.
Go to the venue.
Go to the venue first.
Okay, good to know.
When we get into trouble with event scams is when we go and we look for a deal offline.
Yeah.
Now there are certain like I just went to a Cardinal game recently,
Mm-hmm.
and. It was a good game.
Thanks for the invite.
You're
I'm
welcome.
kidding. Sports.
Okay.
But anyway,
You're not a sports ball fan.
No, not really.
And I didn't get them directly from the Cardinals, but they have StubHub as their authorized reseller. So many venues will have an authorized ticket reseller. So you can also go to there. Okay. Now, if I were to have maybe bought these through Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something like that, that's where you run into problems. Because
shame if you do that.
Well, you got to really know who you're buying from. Yeah. Let's say you had Cardinal tickets for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
I wouldn't trust
I
me.
know you. You would trust you.
Me, but no. But I mean, it's always sketch. I mean, even if it's somebody that you know, because a lot of people have fake profiles now.
That's why I would call you up and say, Ashley, do you have these? This is really you? Do you really have these tickets to Taylor?
Yeah.
And if I know you, then that's fine.
Yes.
So know your source. If you're not purchasing directly from the venue, the next safest option is a legitimate vendor. Obviously, bbb.org is a great place that you can go to now. The one thing that we don't know about, the days of actually the guy standing outside of Busch Stadium and yelling and saying, hey, who needs two? And, the actual paper tickets are long gone.
We just had that happen to us.
Really? Mm-hmm. What happened to you?
He was trying to get our extra tickets.
Yes.
So it's happening. But
I mean, it's all virtual now. It's all through your phone.
He's doing his phone too. We didn't stop long enough, but I was going to say they are out there.
Yeah, but they're not as bad as they used to
Gotcha.
be. So if you're online and you see something, let's say you're just looking for because one of your girls wants to go see Taylor so bad.
Right.
You're doing anything to please your baby, and you find them on Craigslist. If there's somebody you don't know. Not to say there aren't legitimate sellers on Craigslist or any other social media platform, but that's where some of those people tend to congregate. So you really need to know who you're dealing with. If you don't know who you're dealing with, you could possibly buy something that's not legitimate. Now, with the advent of artificial intelligence, it might be, I'm going to assume it's easier for those bad actors to make really realistic looking virtual tickets now. Again, you've really got to be careful. Using a credit card is the best way to pay. Obviously, if you buy something from the direct from the vendor, you're going to more than likely be okay.
Sure.
But if you go to a secondary or tertiary seller, that's when you might run into some problems if you don't use that credit card.
Yeah. And I've even run into problems there when you're dealing with even the more reputable companies, because sometimes they double sell, maybe not on purpose, so you may still run into things, but that's not necessarily a scam. But the best way that I've learned is going. So I generally just do like stand-up comedians. That's who I've been seeing recently, and they have their own websites, and they normally talk about it like on their podcast. So that it's their website, going through their specific links to make sure that you're following their breadcrumbs and not being taken
now on something like
else.
That, you're going to want to make sure what are the refund policies.
Right.
Let's say somebody has to cancel for a certain reason. A lot of times with you're going to go to a ball game. That ball game is going to take place unless it rains, and then they have those refund. You say, well, your tickets we couldn't get you Tuesday, but we're going to remake it up Wednesday, so your tickets are good for Wednesday. That's different for music festivals or stand-up comedians.
Right.
The venue might have its own refund policies. You're not necessarily paying to watch one of the Wayans brothers do stand-up. You're paying that venue because they're coming into there. So you've got to see what those policies are. Also, fees are a big thing sometimes with events too.
Don't get me started.
You buy a ticket and then there are
service
fees. Make sure you're aware of all that before you decide to hit the buy button, because that $75 ticket could all of a sudden be $110 with all the fees that are associated with it.
And more,
So know what you're getting into before you hit that buy button.
Yeah, absolutely. It's CYA. Cover your
tail.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, because an event is, especially during the summer, everybody's looking to go, everybody's looking for something to do. You're going to concerts, you're going to stand-up comedians, you're going to music festivals, and they're fun.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do that, right?
Correct.
But you do not want to get hosed. Due diligence, CYA, follow Mr. DOB's advice.
We've got a whole article online about this at bbb.org. So go check us out there. Obviously, you can get a hold of me here in my office in Quincy at 217-209-3972 if you have any questions. And we want you to have a fun and exciting summer of going to whatever events you want.
Yeah. Hey, one more thing real quick before we go, because this just popped up and I sent it to my mom immediately and was like, if you get this, do not click on it. It's a scam.
Yes.
An email that says your iCloud or your cloud account is at risk of being deactivated. And it looks legit and it's got the cloud on it. It doesn't say iCloud, but it looks and it pops up in your email and may come through text. Do not
Phishing.
click that link.
They're trying to fish. Yeah, never click any links
No.
unless you really know what it is.
So I wanted to throw that out there
Yes,
because it's
please
relevant
do.
and
Yep.
I just got it, and that's
We need to
our
keep your
job.
mom safe.
We got to keep my mom and everyone else
Yes.
safe because these folks do not deserve any of our money. Did you see? Sorry, last thing. There was an office in the Philippines that got hacked, and the hacker was from the United States and put them on video and
Yes.
showed everybody.
Those are
at
very
this.
popular on YouTube. Yes, those are
That's
fascinating
incredible.
to watch.
Yeah.
They hack into their CCTV, their closed circuit TV,
Yeah.
and then they call them, and then it's messing with scammers. It's pretty fascinating.
It's hilarious,
Yes.
and if you've ever been scammed, sorry, but this may be a little bit of
Yeah, if you go to like YouTube and maybe just put in Scammy the Scammer or something like that, there's all kinds of
This
methods.
is the first one I saw. It was
funny.
very interesting.
I would
yeah.
not recommend you try to scam the scammer.
No.
Don't answer your phone and,
No.
and don't engage them. But for people that, this guy's kind of a professional.
Yeah.
So leave it to the professionals.
Right, absolutely, and make sure that you contact reputable companies when booking your tickets. Thank you so much, Don O'Brien. I
Thanks
always
for having me.
appreciate you coming in.
Yep. See you
All
next
right,
week.
See ya. All right, I think that does it for today's Daily Muddy. We'll catch you back here tomorrow for Club Muddy. See you then.